Spectaculars. Karibuni sana to the Diaspora edition for Taco Show. We apologize for being offline for a couple of days. Unajua hii mambo ya plantation saa zingine inaleta shida, watu wanachapa kazi. But we are thankful to be here today. What a day, what a week, for almost 2 months. A lot has happened. But we are here today and we have a lot to discuss. Lakini as usual, wacha tuanze na maombi and then we'll proceed from there. Let us pray. Father, we thank you for yet another opportunity we have had together here as a people, especially as Kenyans who are living outside our beloved country. Guide our discussion today. May we be able to educate each other. May we be able to impart knowledge and also communicate with our fellow Kenyans back home. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen. Gentlemen, karibuni sana. First of all, first and foremost, we have had our crazy, is a simple term to use, a very eventful week so far. So many things have happened, but I want to take just a brief moment to take a moment of silence for the young people and the life lost during all the demonstrations from the beginning. The young man Rex and others, and the event that happened on Tuesday and overnight coming up to Wednesday morning. We have lost quite a number of people. Others are injured in the hospitals. I just want to take a brief moment here, just observe a moment of silence, and then tuanze show yetu. All right, just a brief moment, guys. Thank you. All right. Asanteni sana. So, gentlemen, karibuni sana. I was hoping to see more people to join. I hope others will join us. Mbauni karibu. Bwana Abel karibu sana. This is your first time. We want to acknowledge you and welcome you to the show. Bob, kama kawaida mtu ya serikali, ako hapa leo atatuambia serikali alipeleka wapi hii wiki. But guys, a couple of things that I want us to talk about today. And to me is, first of all, to acknowledge the level and acknowledge and respect the level of organization by the young people. I think I have a privilege now to say young people. Bwana Ambassador, karibu sana. The level of organization and strategy. This is, I think it's a moment of being proud to be a Kenyan. That people can stand up for what they believe in. They know their rights and they have spoken up. It's unfortunate that the people they were speaking to chose to ignore, and that's where we are right now. I would have wished for people to listen and actually engage people in a meaningful discussion. We could be talking of something different, but well, it's a lesson learned. So I'll go around everybody. Let me give you a moment to say a few words. Give us your observation. What have you seen? What do you see so far? What has happened? Are you surprised? Did you expect this? So Mbauni, wacha nianze na wewe. You're the first one on my screen here, and then I'll go with that order, and then Abel will follow. Hey, Felix, long time bwana. Karibu sana. So Mbauni, wacha nianze na wewe.
So on that, kwanza niwasalimie. Good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are. Fellow Kenyans, sikuwahi fikiria tutafika hapa tena. I thought our grandfathers did it for us. Now the great-grandchildren are doing it again because our parents failed and most of millennials failed. So the Gen Z is there to correct us. And they are telling, hey guys, you need to wake up and smell the coffee. This is how things are done. Sio kukaa tu kwa mtandao ati mnashout tu hashtag na hamtokei. Sisi tuko na hashtag na tuko kwa ground. There is also one thing I have learned. In the list of drugs. Kuna drug moja huwa inasahaulika called power. Hiyo is supposed to be in the first list of the narcotic drugs. Power. Ukilewa na hiyo itakusumbua kuliko mtu mwenye ako kwa cocaine. Because I don't understand why our president should wait until the youth are dying. Wale mama boga wale walikuwa na fieko pale Githurai. Wale watu wa boda wale wenye tutaunda serikali nao walikuwa na fieko hapo. Why? Because one of the police officer was killed. But how many youths had died before? I can really say the spirit of the freedom fighters were within our youth. Juu kuna polisi mmoja alikuwa undercover and he used like anasegregate kigroup fulani, anajifanya ni mmoja wao, anawatenga, wanaenda kupigiwa marisasi place fulani, mwenye atapigwa ni shauri yake. So kuna hiyo squad alikata, but mwenye alishikwa ni brother yake mdogo.
I saw that video.
The guy alikuwa anasema hawezi fanya kitu ingine. The honorable thing for him was just to go and resign. Hiyo kaburi yenye ulikuwa unataka iende kwetu inaenda kwenu. I celebrated that moment. I felt like we have killed one of the policemen.
Wow.
Then the snipers were even missing the targets and shooting themselves.
I think they killed a police officer also at the parliament.
So kwani hii kichwa ya Ruto ni ngumu aje? Like haiwezi sikia kitu like akiambiwa buda pale kuna moto, lazima aingize kidole ndio confirm kama ni moto. Juu he had a lot of time to say okay, nimesikia hiyo kitu, hata isitoke bunge, ifanyiwe ukarabati huko. He had a lot of time to say so. Then when he came to address the nation, aka search kwa ChatGPT, akakuja na ka speech ka 2 minutes, hata heri angerecord a reel a post kwa TikTok. Ungeiwatch. It was so shit and short. Like anakuja up kuita watu majambazi. Then the following day anakuja kuwaita sons and daughters. So in short alisema kila mtu mwenye ako na Gen Z kwa kama mtoto wake, huyo ndiye anahaba terrorists, the criminals. So then the following day akuje atuite ati sons and daughters. How? Who does that? Watu waliteki yenye alisema time yenye alikuwa amejam. Hii ingine ni afterthought. Now that people have said, okay, the issue now is not even the finance deal. The issue now is with you as the president. He is so good in promises that he even forget what he promised. How can he say that sanitary towels zenye zinaikuwa imported are the only one tax? Okay, it's fine. For what reason? To protect the local business. But again, he go on and tax the raw materials used to make the locally made sanitary pads. What does that mean? The end product will be costly
than the one being imported.
Will that one require a rocket scientist to know?
No.
kwani hizi mahesabu zao zilikuwa zinafanya nini? I mean, those scholars as they call themselves, hawajui hivyo. I just think Kenya, sijui, but I would wish it to be shut down and people go home, like literally waende nyumbani. Juu hizi mambo, now they are trying to make it look like there is someone sponsoring this maandamano. Then on the other side, the majority leader anaingia kwa floor of the house and say walikuwa wanakuja na Uber, walikuwa na iPhones, walikuwa naenda KFC. This means, okay, for you to fund such a person to go and riot, unafikiria utafund wangapi? Very few. So this means it's something that came from their hearts and it's still there. How did it make sense for the president to send the Kenya police to Haiti and deploy the KDF in Nairobi? Yani, wewe unasema utalala utume mtoto wako wa 3 years old kwa shamba akalime. That's Ruto for you.
Wow.
Huyo ndio mtu mwenye tulipatia maisha yetu, tulipatia government na resources zetu aran.
All right.
Then the first majority leader, Aden Barre Duale, is a person who can say the deployment of the KDF at night, an illegal gazette notice, without any parliament, whatever. Then in the morning, 30 minutes discussion with no participation, the thing is done. Okay, the power belongs to the people. Are those the people? Then if they are the people, they are the wrong people. And the only thing that should be done is that power to be taken away from them, to be given to the right people. Yeah. Sisi si watu wa Arsenal watu tutasema next season. It's now.
Sasa tena watu wa Arsenal wameingilia wapi?
Unajua umezoea kusema next season. It's now. Sasa hivi. Yeah. Hii Kenya lazima ifikiwe.
Wait. Okay.
Yeah.
Let me go to Abel. Abel is the newest participant in our discussion today. Tunamkaribisha. We will call this his maiden speech. Bwana Abel, take it away.
Okay, thank you, Joel. First of all, I regret when I joined earlier. I should have joined because normally, wakituma link, invite link, I'll join next. Yeah. But anyway, I hope all of you are fine. I would prefer to just listen today. No, for now, and negate what everyone is saying. Just start kuingia discussion. I mean, kujana angle I exist. So far, I'm loving it. Napenda hizo. I'll respond. Mimi niko side ya gava. If at all they're taking sides, but I also criticize when needed. So, thank you so much. I'm gonna listen a little bit and then I'll join and I'll give my check if it's fine.
All right. Sawa.
All right.
Thank you so much. All right. Mtu ya serikali, Bwana Bob. Ama Bob wako kwa plantation, hajapata nafasi.
Yeah, naona simu yake bado iko kwa mute.
Okay. Haya, sawa. Bernard, karibu sana. Let me go to you.
Thank you, my brother Joel.
Yes.
Yes, I'm happy to be back after a while.
Yes.
And I've been forced to come back to, also contribute on these issues which are going on in Kenya. Yeah, first, I would like to send my deepest and special condolences to those people who lost their lives during protesting. It's not good, and it's painful to their loved ones when somebody unexpectedly lose life. Then back to the government. I'm a very staunch critic of the government because I have to check where there are shortcomings for the leaders to improve so that they can deliver good services efficiently to Kenyans.
Yes.
So I am very, very much disappointed with what happened yesterday. I think it's yesterday. Kenya, I think it should have been, is it on Tuesday or Monday?
Yeah.
Monday.
Yeah, Tuesday.
So I am very disappointed. And I want to say that our leaders are very insensitive, selfish, corrupt. And this is why, as Kenyans, we are in this situation now. If leaders were listening to Kenyans for such a long time, since they came into power, Kenyans have been struggling, really struggling with their daily needs because the economy is bad. The things have gone up in terms of prices.
Yes.
Kenyans have been crying for a long time. It reached a point where this regime added increased taxes. So I think they saw like Kenyans, even though they cried, they made noise, at some point, they moved on. So now they want now to come up with very strenuous tax or taxing measures, which is really bad, what it was in the financial bill.
Yes.
When Kenyans are crying and they are taken for granted, because that is what has been happening, the UDA. UDA has been trying to enforce policies and taxes on Kenyans in one way without listening to Kenyans.
Yeah.
The youth, the young people, the Gen Z, and the other generations, they are very frustrated. They are very depressed with the current situation of life in Kenya. And when they heard that this finance bill is going to add more burden to them,
yes,
it's like they were squeezed into a corner where they cannot retreat. And that is why you see what's going on in Kenya. And I am a proud Kenyan. And I support what happened despite people losing life. It has sent a very strong message to the leaders that they are not untouchable. We just respect them. The young people who protested, who even invaded parliament, I applaud them. Now, this is a strong message that Kenyans don't even fear military when it comes into protecting and defending their rights. What I can tell President Ruto and his folks, like Ichungwa and the others, I was very much disappointed what Ichungwa said recently when this protesting, after the protesting, the previous protesting. It is quite unfortunate for a leader to say that. In fact, this propaganda that politicians say and gets away with it is what put us in this situation.
Yeah.
The leaders cannot keep on creating propaganda, tarnishing Kenyans' names, Kenyans' reputation, and yet Kenyans are being real that we are in a hard situation.
Yeah.
We need you to listen to us. Then leaders like Ichungwa, who have been corrupt, who are stinging corrupt, come up and start forming or coming up with propagandas against Kenyans who have really been pressed with the economic situation in the country. We know Ichungwa, even his wife, they were involved with corruption at some point in county or something. Now they've stolen money. They don't want to listen to the poor people who cannot even afford salt peke yake. I am urging Kenyans to push on. I am requesting Kenyans to support the agencies and let's fight for our rights. Let's fight bad leadership. Let us fight corruption. Let us fight evil in government. Let us fight those bishops who have destroyed religion in Kenya. Yeah. Thank you for now. That's
thank
what
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Bwana Umbui. Karibu sana. It's nice to see you again. Let me go to another. Now, I think I will start calling you guys prodigal sons or prodigal children. Sasa nilikuwa nafikiri tutaenda kukampeni tukurudishe uwe senator ukapotea tena boss. Namna gani?
Can you hear me first? I don't know
yes,
if I'm
yes.
on mute.
Yes, we can hear you.
So I have a lot, but I don't want to say a lot because other people want to contribute as well.
Yes.
I'll try and be very brief. Okay, thank you first for the opportunity. And then yes, I have been so engaged, but today and last week I didn't get the time, but today I said whatever will make me be available online today, I have to.
Yeah.
It's like I'm participating in my maandamano today.
Yeah.
So first of all, my condolences to everyone, every soul in Kenya that lost their life.
Yeah.
We are with you, and I want to say that God, it will come back to those people who are responsible. That's number one. Number two, well, I'll just try and start with something. You know, when you're a person who is narcissistic, a narcissistic character or a narcissistic leader or a tyrant leader,
yeah.
Number one, they lack principles. And number two, they tend to gaslight their citizens, the people they lead. Now, in this case, us Kenyans, we are being gaslighted each and every day.
Yeah.
To a point that we feel like, are we the problem or is it the political class is the problem? Yesterday, I listened very carefully to those both addresses by the president and the deputy president.
Yes.
And before, and it has been consistent before. It's been something that has been consistent since we've been here. We've been here complaining of the same. Today, the president is saying this. In the evening, he does not remember what he said in the morning.
Yeah.
And it is a chain of lies. That's what I'm saying. Narcissistic.
Yeah.
You don't remember. You are not accountable to anything. You have a brain like a. What do they say? Forgetful as what?
What dog?
Exactly. You say something in the morning, you don't remember what you said in the evening.
Yeah.
Because that's how you operate. Lying is your part of life. So let me just try to remind Kenyans, that is the kind of person we are dealing with at the moment. And I'll try and just make one point where he's been caught off, where he's saying that he's rejected the finance bill. And according to the constitution, I saw he's just writing a memo. That is not gonna. No president can reject or can withdraw a finance bill until the parliament does.
Yes.
And where it catches him off guard is that where the constitution catches him off guard is that if it is not ascended if it's sent to parliament and not withdrawn within 14 days, it becomes law.
Yeah.
And parliament is going for a recess for 21 days. What does that tell you? He's just playing with our minds. He thinks that we are all kids. Unfortunately, we are not. Unfortunately, he thinks we are kids, but unfortunately, we are not his kids. We went to school, thank God, and we are learned. we know what is happening. We can tell a lie from afar, and that is lie number one, where he stands in a status full and addresses Kenyans that, oh, and that is the bone of contention number one. So I'm trying to tell the president, because I know Gerald is his person of communication. Read this to the president. Rejecting the finance bill, it's gone beyond that. We are beyond we are beyond amending, withdrawing. Where we are at the point as a country is what is the minimal casualty for the current leadership to exit with minimal casualty, because they are gonna go. I don't think 2027 is gonna get us. It's gonna get these people still in power. So the right thing we're discussing at the moment, what is the minimal casualty? What is the minimal consequences that can make you make a decision to exit? That's number one. And the sooner they realize that, because we are beyond, you can't just, it's because Parliament, let me tell you first, has lost the legitimacy. No one wants to listen to the member of Parliament from yesterday, because if you're able to come and say, oh, your deputy president is able to come and ask forgiveness in behalf of all the members of Parliament who voted for yes, we just, it's very clear that the voices of the people we sent to Parliament don't know what they're going. They did not. It seems like they never understood what they went to Parliament to do. So number one, they have lost legitimacy. I don't think I want to be represented again with my member of Parliament, because if you're able to be kusanywa like chickens, go to State House and told, we reject. Where do you hear the voices of the people? If you're able to hear one voice of the president and continue hearing until the end of then what are we doing in Parliament? What are you doing in Parliament?
Yeah.
So number one, Parliament has lost its legitimacy. That's number one. The president has lost his as well, because we only have three arms of government: Parliament, judiciary, and the executive.
Yeah.
And I believe now, I don't know, the executive is just the presidency and I know everyone understands the executive. So I'm just urging the president at this point, as a loyal, patriotic Kenyan, where it has gotten the king, you are naked. And it is time to hear what the people are saying. The people are saying, please, Mr. President, it is with due respect. You have served us in 2 years. We have gotten enough of the 2 years of your rule. And it is time for us to tell you that, Mr. President, let you all go home. We start with a new, that's where we're going to have now new conversation. What is our public debt register? Where has our money been going to? Where have we been paying money to? Who has been eating our money? Who has been buying houses left, right, center with our own money? That's where we can start that conversation. But for now, we are not yet there. Until everyone is home, we reconstitute the leadership again. Everyone goes home. Let new people come. We are tired. Everyone is, because this thing will not finish. I'm not promising doom, but I promise that I know demonstrations will not. It will be unless you're willing to be people to protest until 2027. That's fine. But who loses? Your government loses much. People have no reason. The citizens right now, they don't have anything to fear. They are saying we'd rather go die by the bullet rather than dying hungry in our houses, rather than dying with mental health, rather than suiciding ourselves in the house. Then you can't fight such a spirit anymore. The only thing is, everyone take their bags home, resign, minimal casualty, because the casualty is gonna be more if you consist on being there. So that's my final word, And to the Kenyans, as I was saying yesterday, we are the lead of Africa. So I've seen other countries are even getting worried of their leadership. They're starting to say, oh, how can we start talking to our people early? We don't want to see what is happening in Kenya. That is what the people are smelling coffee. But unfortunately, our presidency are saying, oh, the problem is NIS. Oh my God, how do you start dealing with such a person? Anyway, that's my short and long speech. I'll try and contribute later.
Okay.
But yeah, for now, that is it.
Hey. Yeah, that's one discussion I really want to speak about the issue about the president and the deputy president speeches. But Bwana Ambassador, karibu sana. How are you today, my brother?
Asante sana. Chairman, ambia huyu angependa kukuwa senator azime hiyo kiti yake hiyo inatambua sisi. Wewe toa sauti bwana, weka.
How can you put me, Joe? I think I'm trying to get the mute. I can't see.
That's okay.
Okay, so thank you so much, Joe. And I want to stand with Kenyans and say that it is a win for Kenya. It's not even a win for Gen Z. It's not a win for anyone. It's a win for Kenya. And the liberation that the young generation liberated this country from what was going to happen is, it's amazing to see such a confident and true to their word young men and women who went to the street saying, look, enough is enough. And they said by word and delivered. I remember a few months ago when I came back from Kenya and we were having a discussion in this forum, and I told Wakili Mise that this is not a government to defend. The same people who are in government and telling us a lot of UDA things is Felix, who just left, and it is good I spoke after him. He left Kenya to go and run for a senatorial position. He came back a very different man. I have never opposed government. I've never opposed a leader. But for me, I tell you as is, I don't like hiding in from between and just trying to sail through. And I once even said, if I get an appointment in Kenya and what I'm just doing is get allocated money for salary and nothing to deliver to the people, I resign. Because that is part of corruption and that is ill will to the people. I told Mise that this is not a government to defend because you cannot defend something yenye ukishika kichwa miguu inaingia kwa maji. Ukitoa miguu kwa maji kichwa sasa ndio inaingia. Number two, I think for me, the next thing the president needs to do is that he has now listened to the people and he has now realized that the people have power or have power and the power is the people.
Yeah.
And as the saying goes, majority has the go.
Yeah.
Wengi ndio wanachukua nafasi.
Yeah.
Sasa hivi rais wetu mtukufu anafaa sasa kufanya kitu kama vitu mawili. Kufanya ile inaitwa reshuffle of the cabinet and do away with those corrupt individuals. I will tell you for free, not many people even were going to the streets supporting Gen Zs because they are majority. They were going to the streets because of a lot of inept, a lot of corruption, a lot of ill will, a lot of worries that people will be like, what will happen the next day? What will happen tomorrow? People don't have money. There is no selling power in Kenya. Saa hizi mnasema dola imeshuka, but if you tell someone unitumie 2,000, mtu analia. Someone working with the county anakuambia, bro, unitumie 2,000 ni survive naye nifike end month. And this is someone who works with the government.
Yeah.
So people are going to the street not because of any other thing. They are tired. Let me tell you for free. People are tired. Hata wale wako kwa serikali, they are tired. And the president is naked. He has to know that. He is naked. These people, hata saa hizi wale watu wako karibu na yeye, wako tu hapo sababu ya they are meant to be there. But those guys are actually tired.
Yeah.
To finish off, is that the people like Itumbi, and I have to mention names, they are gone. Their usefulness is gone. He has now to get a digital team who doesn't propagate propaganda. People who would argue point by point. If you join that Twitter space over the weekend, my friend, those people were smart. Those people knew what they were saying. Those people had facts. You cannot sell propaganda. What Dennis Itumbi have been selling for the last 5 years or so to those people anymore.
No.
You cannot. You cannot give people false promises.
Yeah.
People know their rights now. People know what they are meant and what they deserve.
Mm-hmm.
So the next thing now is the president to actually come out and say corruption, stop. People need accountability. The only thing that people need now, accountability. Corruption, break.
Mm-hmm.
The corruption body in Kenya should now develop teeth. It is currently toothless. Hata ukipatia kitu msukuma haiwezi uma. Now it has to be constituted very well, given the authority to act, deliver.
Mm-hmm.
The president should surround him. People who are close to him should be people who give him facts.
Yeah.
And the worst thing that the president, or the best thing now, I know it's worst for his people, is now to call a ceasefire between him and the deputy president and bring him on board and tell him we need to lead this country. We were elected together. We need to get the country together. Mtu asikuwa anasoma yake huko, mimi nasoma huku. Imagine bwana, the DP waited for president asoma yake. Akuja sasa anue maneno, apige maneno yenye anaupost kila kitu yenye president amesema, na people anasema hii ndio tunataka kusikia.
Yeah.
Imagine.
Yeah.
Imagine. Wewe umekuja kutuliza, jamaa anakuja kupuliza na kuuma tena.
Yeah.
Analipua kila kitu. So, and then the only thing now, his people, naona wajamaa wa online waga wanajaribu kusema sijui nini, hakuna mtu anasikia maneno. Because they have been just depending on propaganda. Na vice president amekaa chini, amepewa all intel, amepewa all advices, amepewa everything about what is happening. Anakuja kulipua venye iko.
Mm-hmm.
So it is time for him now. I think he needs actually this deputy president than never.
Mm-hmm.
He needs him than never before. Bure jamaa kiendelea hivi 3 times, mambo inakuwa ngumu kidogo kwa ground. And if you see, my friend, if you see your own people demonstrating like what Eldoret was doing, it is a wake up call. It is a wake up call. It is bad for him. But I know if he stands up and act again, things will be good. I know if he acts up and deliver, things will be good. People will listen again, people will come back, and it was the best thing that he did to just, say, look, let me take this back. So he needs to now come back and say, look, the confusion that is out there about this bill, it is not coming back again. Like, we have to live within our means, we have to work within what we have, and we have to deliver. The only thing that Kenya has as a problem now is expenditure that we are spending on things that are not worth. That is it. Hiyo pesa tutafanya tu vizuri. People will be able to pay taxes very well if they see the accountability of those money. Asante sana.
All right. Wow. Guys, thank you so much for all your comments. A couple of things that I really wanted to focus on is both the president's speech and the deputy president's speech. And I'm just going to go in the reverse order and start with it. My analysis of the deputy president's speech. He talked about being the principal assistant to the president. He asked a question, where did we wrong? When did the rain start beating us? And my answer to that was very simple. You stopped listening. You believed your own echo chamber that listened to the people. The deputy president talked about the abduction. He acknowledged it is being done by security forces. Deputy President talked about the members of parliament and saying, hey, please forgive them. Someone mentioned that. And he said they are following the party's line. And my question was, then why are they paid by public funds? If you are going to follow what the party says and not what the people are saying, then you need to stop being paid by the... I think it's high time then we go and ask them to refund the money they have been paid all this time, because they need to go to the party so that the party can pay them. When he says that the president never got the information, and I asked myself, I am sure the president have several TVs in State House. I'm sure the president have social media people, unfortunately, who you are saying, kazi yao ni kupiga tu propaganda. But above all, the very MPs whose numbers were shared in public, and they got thousands and thousands of messages. When they met in State House, to take out some of the aspect of the taxes that they were talking about. Why didn't they tell the president that people are saying, we don't want you to remove, we want you to kill the whole thing? Which go back to what Felix was saying, or Bernard was saying, these things should not even go now towards where people are voting for it. Those are some of my observation about the deputy president. Now, when it comes to what the president was talking about, I really wondered and said, is the president missing the point, or does he really understand what is going on? I feel bad for the media people who are given a chance to ask questions. Some of them, they actually ask good questions. But I never had anybody asking a question about accountability. And I think that's what either Felix or Bernard were talking about. When you have somebody like Rinturi still in your cabinet, somebody who has been implicated in scandals twice now, and when he was given a chance to defend himself, the best defense he could come up with is to blame his ex-wife. Mr. President, are these the people you want to be surrounding you? Let me go even further and mention two other people. Alfred mentioned Dennis Tubi. I have two more people that I have a serious problem with, and I say they don't belong to be in your organization. They don't belong to be as part of your advisors or people speaking on it. Who I think the magician people need to go and withdraw his card for being a magician. David Ndii. The guy is so arrogant. He has no factual statements. When he asks questions, all he can do is dismiss people. It's time for David Ndii to leave. He has done our country a disservice. The next person is Isaac Mwaura, the spokesperson. This guy talks as if he's in a bar brawling with his friends. His statements spews arrogance, and he cannot talk to people with respect. Mr. President, these are not people you need to be in your inner circle of leadership. They need to go. Now, I took a chance personally to budget appropriation. And I want to ask you guys, have you ever heard of a term or a group called Twende? Felix, umesikia kitu inaitwa Twende?
Not yet.
Okay, so Twende stands for Towards Ending Drought Emergencies in Kenya. And according to the budget appropriation bill, they were allocated 340 million. And these are things I'm going to show you. There is an emergency locust response. They are given 2,491.7 million. Yes, Felix. Yeah, I saw that, I laughed. Another one, embryo transfer project, 192.5 million. Yeah? And you wonder, and you are here telling us you want to raise taxes? Mr. President, start with these people. Start with this nonsensical project. I know there was a line item where the president is awarded a bursary of 400 million. Guys, when is the last time you had the president giving bursaries to anybody? And why does the president have to have 400 million for bursary? For what? I thought this was transferred to the MPs with the CDF or the county governments. There are so many things in this budget appropriation bill that raises a lot of questions for me. But the one thing that really stood out is the percentage of the budget. 63.7%, 63.4% of the budget is allocated to the national government. Out of that, the executive has 61.7%. That is in the budget appropriation bill. I have no idea why the executive has to take more than half of the national budget for its operation. Those are the questions that we really need to ask and find out what is going on. Because if we reduce these expenses, and I'm glad the president today said they are going to take austerity measures, but we want to have specifics. can we get specific? Missy, I see you have come here, so I'll give you a chance to speak, and then we'll continue with the discussion. Bwana Mr. Karibu.
Asante. I would like to listen first before I contribute. I just came in.
Okay. All right. Aya. Bwana Bernard, what else? Tell me, what else have you seen? I think I wish Monda was here. He had some agendas he wanted us to talk, but unfortunately looks like he's not available. Let me go back to what he had recommended for us to talk about today. Let me see if I can pull up. He talked about aspirational issues, youth empowerment.
Bwana Chairman.
Yes.
You have not recognized my presence.
I recognize, but you chose to keep quiet, so go ahead.
Okay, good evening, third class, and good evening, countrymen. First and foremost, I want to express my sincere condolences to the people and the countrymen who've lost their lives, soldiers and comrades who've lost their lives. And I pray that God gives families and the whole nation solace at this very trying moment. Mm-hmm. I know it's an unfortunate case that parents will have to bury their own children who are trying just to make life better for the country.
Yes.
I'll be very brief, and always when they see me here, they say, Sauti ya Serikali imefika.
Yeah.
The only way unaweza kuwa sauti ya serikali is it's not by clapping and being stupid, clapping at everything. It is evident enough of the arrogance. It is evident enough of just the arrogance, demeaning talk that the so-called dishonorable it is unfortunate that they still hold the term honorable when they stink to the core. And they don't deserve, like just as Felix said, I don't think they deserve another chance or another moment to even address anything that pertains to our country, because it's so unfortunate and it's so called for. I just want to urge the young people who are going on the protest right now, that they should keep going on. They should keep soldiering on, because that is the right thing that should be done to this country. For a presidency and a leadership that does not listen, that needs to be done. They need not to stop. To an iPhone. What does it think people are? What does this leadership think people are when people woke up in the morning to campaign for them, when they went and voted for them? Do they think stooges went to vote for them? Do they think we were all foolish when we supported this government? What was so hard for them just to listen on day one? That, oh, wananchi have a concern. Let us listen to them. What are they saying? What does that tell you? They don't give a damn. They don't give an F about nothing that the common Mwananchi says. They think we are stupid and we are just voting machines to be used and to be dumped. And I think it is now high time that they have to listen. The dishonesty that you feel and see in the speeches from the president to the members of parliament, the cabinet, is disheartening. Did the president know that corruption was an issue that Kenyans told him during the campaigns to deal with?
Yeah.
He had an opportunity when Linturi there's a vote of confidence against Linturi. That was the moment to say, Linturi, they've said you have to go, and you have to go. And the people who are most affected by Linturi's presence are his own people, the Kalenjin people. Majority of them were most affected.
Yeah.
These members of parliament now start running into every church, every Sunday, every Arama. want them to build churches. We are all Christians. We love God. We are committed. We are followers of Christ. We pay our tithes. We fast. We do everything. But is it sufficient to come and try to use a church to cleanse your money? It is the wrong thing to do as a country to keep admitting these people in churches. These are the things that have made young people now to run away from churches. It does not make any sense to go to church to listen to nonsense.
Yeah.
To listen to leaders of the church worshiping or idolizing politicians simply because they're coming with money. The early church did not depend on the Roman Empire to build itself. It depended on the membership that grew, the disciples that were sincere in heart. And the church was built. It wasn't just the buildings, it was the following that was most important.
Yes.
But what these guys are doing, they want just to show in terms of the infrastructure. They've reduced our people to be beggars. They tax our people so that our people can keep begging. They've made the church leaders to be beggars instead of being the voice of reason in the society.
Yeah.
It is high time we stop this nonsense. Mufanye Harambee tujenge factories, create the jobs. Those who have been let these churches and these organizations create factories that will help these young people get jobs. Then these young people can now decide, we want to build a church. Let's become a nation that works together and moves together. I'm so excited that they invaded Parliament. I wish they had burnt it down. Because it is not honorable. It is a stinking house. It is a house full of hate. Hates our people. Leaders, they are not leaders. These politicians, members of Parliament, hate their people, hate their voters.
Yeah.
They don't see any good thing about them. The president said he will deal with it. He should have dealt with it when he came into power.
Yeah.
That is why Kenyans voted for him. We don't want this president to be defensive. If Kenyans give him another chance, the first thing, rearrange your leadership in Parliament.
Yeah.
Because that is where the problem is. Deal with your cabinet. That is where your problem lies. Call your deputy, talk with your deputy, create a good level playing. We didn't vote for you people to fight. We didn't vote for you people to go and hate on us. We want value for our money. Mr. President, enough of the travel. It is not making sense to us no more. Stay at home. Burkina Faso's president is staying at home and work is being done. Is it the same president who said that he wanted to do what about the dollar? He wanted Africa to stop using the dollar? Is it the same person? Is it the same person who said we want to do an IMF re-engineering? Is this the same IMF backed up bill that he was trying to choke through our throats?
Yeah.
Is it the same guy who's been trying to talk big and show how Africa can be independent? We can't grow by killing our own people through taxation. You can't tax pads. You can't tax bread. The intention from the word go was bad. You only realize that it was bad when people told you it is bad. I hope he learns from this. And if he doesn't learn from this, man, he can just go, man. Because I'm sure the community where he comes from will be balkanized in future because of his actions. We are not ready. Felix is not ready. Bob is not ready. Abel is not ready. Ambassador is not ready. I am not ready. He can carry his own cross if he doesn't act right. Let's call a spade, not a big spoon. Thank you. And comrades, back, let's soldier on. Don't stop.
Okay. Wow. Tough words. Tough love. Mtu ya serikali leo amekasirika.
I've even developed cold feet. Bob, I'm not going to throw the president under the bus, I am just going to have a difference of opinion while I'm correcting the president. I think I think all of you have valid opinion, valid points, and but equally, I'm making an observation, and I am referencing to the grounds which the demonstrators used to come to the city and exercise their rights, which is Article 37.
Yes.
Okay. And when I read it, for me, it's disturbing because it is selectively applied. And then when it's selectively applied, and when we are not following as it says, then we start blaming and pointing fingers to the police. You know, we call the police. We don't think the police are doing anything good. All we look at is their shortcomings, considering that they are also human beings wenye wako na damu na uoga kama mtu yoyote. You know, even if you are the greatest warrior, if you have ever been, even if you are the best martial artist or whatever, Mike Tyson, good kickboxer, when you get to that ring, kuna ile uoga inakuingia. The ratio of police versus the number of demonstrators in itself is scary. So what am I trying to say? Before I start correcting the president, I'm saying that the Constitution is very clear. It says peaceably, unarmed. Okay, you come, demonstrate and picket and present your petitions. You can't come. You know, there is this notion, or there is this perception in Kenya that for you to demonstrate, you must shout, you must break things, you must burn everything, bring down the city clock and traffic lights, and that's what we witnessed. But the parliament, people wanted to occupy, but instead they vandalized. You know, the occupation of parliament is okay, but vandalizing parliament and getting in and saying that we have stormed to Kondani, now we are inside, you know, to me that is treason. You know, maybe the definition, and the president was actually on spot on by saying those acts were treasonous by nature. And what is treason? If you invade or arm the sovereign, or overthrow, or you have the intention of overthrowing the government, which whereas parliament is the symbol of unity and the central place for where our honorable people meet to legislate. The next place being the Senate and the State House. If people are going to invade and host people, the occupants of those places, then that is overthrowing the government, and the president was right. Now, what I want to agree with, now coming to a few things that I feel that my mtu wa serikali amekasirika sana. I want to join him and say that perhaps we are not asking the right questions. And because we are not asking the right questions, that is why we get to follow the GPS. That's why probably we end up not getting the right answers. For example, why are we going to parliament to talk about corruption in parliament when we have a commission called Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission? That is where we should have started. Burn it down before we ban parliament. You understand? Because this is a body and a commission that pays these people so much, a lot of money, to make sure that they have taken care of people who are corrupt, prosecute, and they have that mandate. But they have not done that. That's the first thing. Now the second thing is like all of us are condemning the president. The president is in the executive, okay? The president is in the executive. What about the judiciary? What about the legislature, right? So we are condemning the president. We are calling every manner. We are calling him. We are actually doing everything to demean his presidency. To me, I look at that as sabotage to his leadership. And I believe that deep down in William Ruto's heart, he wants to transform this country. Unfortunately, if you have ever been in any leadership position, your own people, the people around you, right, will bring you down, will sabotage you where there exists malice. And you can tell, I can tell that the tone from the deputy president, the language that you have started hearing, that Mount Kenya, we gave so many votes that Rift Valley did not give, and so forth. And even when you listen to Gachagwa's speech today, it's contradicting the president, your boss. You can't praise your boss at the same time throw him under the bus. You know, you can't. If you're talking about the intelligence, you are talking about your government. That intelligence is who do they report to? They report and give reports, intelligence reports to you as the head of the state. So you coming to the media and trying to say that the intelligence let you down, that is a sabotage to actually the leadership of William Samoei Ruto. And William Samoei Ruto should be careful with the people around him, because from history, if you look at Muammar Gaddafi, if you look at Fidel Castro, the people around him are the people who actually betrayed him, the same way we are trying to see what is happening in the country. Now, what you see, Bwana Chairman, the truth is our country is naked, and we cannot join the rest of the world and the rest of the nation in putting down our country that is naked and beaten, you know, economically, and the leadership that is getting challenges. We cannot beat William Ruto for certain challenges that he's getting in his government. We can help him. We can help him. How can we help him? The Constitution says power is vested in the people. Instead of us going to the capital city and destroying the property that we will anyways, as the taxpayers, will give and contribute to, again, rebuild the infrastructure, why don't we go to the county assembly and occupy, right? Why don't we go to the governor's offices at the county level and occupy and ask the right questions? This road, let's say, take for example, Thika Superhighway, 5 billion was set aside to complete this project. Why is it not completed? Why don't we occupy the transport, the Ministry of Transport in charge? We go to that ministry and occupy that ministry until the minister answers and addresses our concerns, instead of us saying we are going to the White House, to the State House. There are people who are working with William Ruto, and therefore sacrificing William Ruto alone is ignoring that William Ruto cannot be in every corner of the country to make sure that everything has been done, even though all these people report to him. We have seen good leaders who have been let down by the people around him, and therefore William Ruto is not an exception. So for me to conclude is to say that as much as we want to praise this generation, there also comes challenges with this generation, you know, and this generation is acting out of pressure. They are not acting of reason, of voice. They're acting because there are people behind this generation. They are organizers, they are financiers of these people. These attacks were well planned and well executed. When you see people who are able to actually invade government properties where there's security, where there's government security, enough security that can be deployed, What about an investor who wants to come and put 5 billion in Nairobi? How will he be assured of his security if the people are annoyed with him? Will his investment be safe? You know, so for me, I'm looking at what is happening. Let us not destroy our property. We can also come tunyamaze, tuweke sellotape kwa mdomo, tusiongee na askari, tusirushe askari mawe. Askari are trying to do their job. You know, sometimes I look at people, I even saw other kids daring the police. Anamwambia nifunge, niue. You know, this police is only took an oath of office to serve and to protect. And who is he protecting? Those who are interested with the demonstrations, those who are aggrieved, and those who are not aggrieved, and those who are okay. So to serve and to protect the lives and the property. And when he's trying to do so, you are demeaning him. You are saying things that you think he's not a human being. Whereas at the end of the day, we come here and say parents should not bury their children. You know, I'm a parent, but at the same time, I must also be aware that that police officer also has a parent. That police also has a brother, has a sister. Just like we are trying to say, they also have parents. So why would parents watch their sons and daughters being humiliated for serving and protecting the nation? You know, so when we are talking about our rights also end where the rights of others begin. So our rights are not absolute. For us to be so entitled, also not to respect other people's rights. The destruction of property is a no, and also the youth of nowadays are living beyond their means. You know, Bwana Arama, I believe you have a vehicle. I believe you have some properties somewhere, but I've never seen you posing, taking photos, taking selfies in those properties and posting in social media. And so sometimes this pressure pushes us to have unnecessary pressure, and that can propel us to destroy property that actually is not supposed to be destroyed. So let me take a break, but I hear and resonate with the disappointment of those people who voted this government. But at the same time, I also encourage you that we should help this government. You know, maybe they are internal. As a leader, sometimes you might be going through internal challenges, internal fights. But as a leader, you cannot come and concede publicly that I am going through these challenges. As a leader, you try to solve these problems and forge ahead, encourage the country that everything is okay when you are trying to fix that. And I believe William Ruto is going through certain challenges that he cannot come and say, because if he does, he will appear as a weak leader and his opponents will take advantage and will oust him and have grounds to take him out of office. And they will celebrate and say, after all, he stole this power from someone who was supposed to have. Let us support our leader, regardless of how weak he is. There's a better way we can voice our concerns without using violence, without destroying property, because at the end of the day, sisi ndio tunatoa pesa ya kujenga the same infrastructure yenye tumeharibu. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you, Bwana Mise. So guys, I have a question. I have seen this several times online, and people are saying the demonstrators, the people who are on the streets in the initial stages and all the other places, they were very peaceful. They came out, they were singing and dancing. Of course, they have to walk in the street. They had moments where they will stop and dance. I have seen some very nice creative songs that they on the spot created and published online. But then they say the police are the ones who started the whole thing and started beating them for no reason. And I believe I saw a couple of videos where some of the news people were focusing on those police and say, hey, why are you beating this person? What has he done? And then the person says, kiburiake, or, you know, just very dismissive. How do we get to a place where the police understands Because even from the beginning, guys, going back, the commandant in Nairobi, Bungei, I think is his name, when Boniface Mwangi and others had issued a notice of demonstrating in Nairobi, he declared demonstration illegal. And I said, wait a minute, I thought that declaration of an illegal demonstration was taken away. The police cannot just wake up and say it's illegal. You acknowledge the notification you have been given. The least or the only thing you can do maybe is to direct and say, hey, give us the route you want to take so that we can ensure there is nobody impeding your movement and we can avoid traffic snarl-ups and scenarios like that, so that people can walk whichever streets they would like to do, have a well made out a place to go, and maybe that way we can avoid all these unnecessary consequences. And on top of that is to get people to listen, like you guys said. We cannot afford to be dismissive, because then you start having build up anger, and the anger has to go somewhere, and the result is what we have seen so far. So guys, I don't know if anybody want to take this question and say, hey, how do we get where people understand on both sides? Police is not as it was before. You can't just wake up and start beating people. The people, just like the way it started, can we just focus on being peaceful and expressing ourselves and try to avoid all these fracases? I was very proud with the young people throughout all these demonstrations. You could see some of them actually telling others, musigure the gari ya mwenyewe, usifanye hii. When they were seeing other people trying to become mischievous, they were actually stopping them. And those videos have been circulating online. To me, those were proud moments, on top of them standing up for what they believe, what they believe in, and actually standing up for the rights for everybody. How do we get to that space? And how do we get people to actually listen? And when you're told, hey, this is not right, ask yourself a question. Because one thing was very evident for me is majority of these members of parliament did not actually even take time to read that bill. Some of them were saying, hey, Mimi, I was elected to follow what the president says, and if he says I go left, I'll go left. Even if that left is just going to the wall. I'm just giving an example. You have seen statements to almost that effect by some of the members of parliament. So how do we get all these different components to work together, but at the same time being independent, to make decisions that are for the benefit of the country, but not for the benefit of being individuals or just to prove your loyalty? Bwana Bob.
Bwana Mwenyekiti.
Yes.
I think there's something, Mr. said it nicely, but I think there's something he missed, kidogo.
Mm-hmm.
The biggest problem was the president was given an opportunity to listen on the first day.
Mm-hmm.
Did he listen? What did he do? He came out in arrogance, of the consequences that will happen of the demonstration and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't necessary.
Yeah.
As a father of the nation,
yes,
he should have taken that opportunity to start giving an opportunity to these young people. Like, okay, young people, what are you saying? Yeah, before I'm sure he could not, if he had talked to the people in a good way, he could not, we could not get to this point.
Yes.
And also the leadership within parliament, the arrogance that was spewed, because this thing is a reaction of the sentiments that was made by the leaders. If they had become more tolerant and more listening to wananchi, they would not have gotten to this particular point.
Yeah.
And then we say Mr. has suggested people need to, it is true, they need to go to the county assemblies. But when you look at how these budget allocations were done, a large chunk of this budget is with the national government. Pennies go to the county government. The wastages are more in the national government than in the
county.
We are a semi-autonomous country, in terms of the county on paper, not on reality. because the center still holds everything. It decides what to give and not what to give.
Yeah, true.
So this is a build-up of the frustrations that people have seen. The president should have taken action long time ago on this matter. He would have seen it coming. Because even before they went to the UDA parliamentary meeting that they had before they went to parliament.
Yes.
The message was clear from them. Go pass it. Go pass it. But what Wananchi saying your time? Don't pass it. Don't pass it. Don't reject this thing. Don't do it. Don't do it. It is not friendly to us. So the only thing they did was a castigation measure of, we have taken off this tax, that tax, and that tax. Now that is not what people wanted.
Yeah.
You know? So that tells you that people are not involved. People didn't contribute anything to it. Right? So I think that is where the whole problem lied. It started by leadership that did not listen. Yes.
Oh, wow. All right. Bernard?
Yeah. So I wanted to say something before I answer your question.
Yes, please, go ahead.
You talked about members of parliament being loyal to their parties. I should advise Kenyans in 2027 elections, they should elect more independent politicians, those who are vying as independent potential members of parliament.
Yes.
So that these people can represent them, not represent the parties that are elected. Yeah. So the issue of the police and the citizens who are protesting, in most occasions, you will find that police provokes the protesters by throwing tear gas canisters at protesters. That provokes the protesters.
Yeah.
Then start chasing them around. So mostly you will find that the peaceful demonstrations are interrupted by the police. Police should be there to safeguard the protesters, at the same time, the properties.
Yes.
If by any chance this demonstration turns violent, then they should come in and try to neutralize the situation.
Yeah.
But that is not the case. Our police officers should learn to be peaceful, should learn to tolerate the demonstrators, should understand that they are not to cause havoc or to provoke demonstrators, but to protect them and also protect those who are non-participants on those demonstrations.
Yeah.
It's not the case in most occasions. I also wanted to say about this, and I'm using the example of Ukraine and Russia. Russia warned the NATO allies that if you come in to defend Ukraine, I am going to use nuclear weapons against you, right?
Yeah.
The demonstrations that were there earlier, before yesterday, were very peaceful.
Yes.
These young Turks were sending a warning to the president and the members of parliament that you should not pass this bill. If you pass it, then expect the unexpected. And that is why after these members of parliament passed this bill, they provoked these guys to go extreme. And that is why those guys flew over the fences and probably the gates, went to parliament with anger, and they caused that kind of a havoc. In fact, that helped them to calm down. Otherwise, if they were in the streets, they could have even killed innocent citizens.
Yes.
Because they had rage. So by them invading parliament, it was even better because it helped them to calm down. So the police were not even supposed to go there to start ambushing those people. Those people could have chilled in parliament there, they relaxed, they take photos, and they leave. But when the police were sent there, then things turns violent. I also want to remind my colleagues here, my co-panels here, that the people who are more violent are our politicians.
Yeah.
Kimani Ichung'wah uttering those words, that is being violent against demonstrators. It is being rogue against patriots. This guy, a carrier, saying those who are fake images, that is an expert, which I don't know from where, is being violent and discrediting the concerns of Kenyans. In fact, those two members of parliament, they should be very careful on walking free in public because they offended Kenyans. Something else I wanted to talk is that the deputy president, when he started his speech, he said, "I was elected, not appointed." The deputy president was stumbling his feet that there's nothing whoever can do to him because he was elected. And he started spilling the beans. When he was saying the NIS gave the president wrong information, it does not mean that. He's using, what do we say, parables or what? I don't remember the right term. He was saying that if the president was not given wrong information, then he failed to act. He failed to make the right decision. So the blame stops at who?
The president.
The president.
Yeah.
I am happy that the deputy president gave a kind of a speech that said some things that Kenyans expect to hear.
Yes.
Like now, abduction. Kenyans is a modern era, but Ruto is taking us back to Moi era, where people are being abducted and they disappear forever. That is where Ruto is taking us back. And we should stop that. We should fight against that.
Yeah.
What we need to agree is that Ruto has failed. And the way the ambassador said, Kenyans are tired. Kenyans are exhausted. They don't want to hear Ruto as a president tomorrow. They really want him to go yesterday. Because he has been taxing Kenyans, but we don't see what he's doing. Maybe he's paying salaries, but we cannot see major projects taking up.
Yeah.
Taking over. You see? And he's been running all over the world. When he should sit down and solve Kenyans' problems. If I use an example of Magufuli came to the power. He said, "I'm not going to be running around the world going to see the presidents of a superpower like Mimi Nikee. I am also president of my country. If they want to see me, they can also come. I'm not going to spend taxpayers' money running like a small boy to go and see the president of super or developed countries. I go there to beg." The money the money the president is using, moving from point A to point B, is enough to transform most Kenyans' lives. There are so many people suffering from cancer. There are no facilities. Some of the projects you mentioned here.
Yeah.
Money that is going to go to people's pockets.
Yeah.
You see, why there are the people who are who really need very needy services like healthcare.
Yeah.
But those are forgotten because the public hospitals are for the poor people. Then when they are sick, they take a flight, they go to Germany, they go to US, so they don't care. So as Kenyans, we should not give or entrust these people fully to run us. They are destroying us.
Yeah.
Inturi should have gone home long time ago.
Yes.
Somebody indeed has totally failed because the economy is not picking up.
Yeah.
He's arrogant. He should go home. This guy called Isaac Amwaura.
Yeah.
Whom you say is arrogant.
Yeah.
He has never won a seat in the politics.
Yeah.
But he's arrogant to Kenyans, speaking arrogant. It is quite unfortunate, the kind of government that Kenya thought it was going to salvage them. It is bad than the previous governments. And the Kenyans just got tired so soon. So what I can say is, I don't know how the president is going to reincarnate himself, to reincarnate his image to the extent Kenyans start trusting him again. I don't know. But what I believe is that Kenyans are tired. They want him out of State House. It is a fact. He better take it seriously. If he wants to salvage himself, then he has to find very smart guys around him to be able to salvage his image. Somebody said, Parliament is a symbol of unity. I think Mr. said that.
Yes.
Parliament is no longer a symbol of unity. The current parliament we have. The parliament we have is a symbol of corruption. The one we have in Kenya. Because even when they were passing the bill, people were being bribed. And there is no way you can exonerate the president when he is the one who really wanted this bill to pass. Where did the money come from? Some of the MPs were being bribed with. So there is no way. Let me ask you, my brother, you have a family, right?
Yes.
If something goes wrong, who is to blame?
Parents or me specifically?
Parents, you as the head of the household.
Yes.
So we cannot push the blame from Ruto or away from Ruto to the deputy president. He should even call the deputy president to obey him.
Yeah.
But what is happening now? We are seeing, blames being thrown up and down, south, east, west. It's like Kenyans are so foolish, they don't know who is to blame. No, we can't. And we are not going to bargain for less. People are dying because our taxes are being misused, are embezzled. Why should the president be running all over the world every week? Every week is here and there. Why can't he sit in State House and solve Kenyans' problems?
Yeah.
We cannot tolerate that. So that's what I can say for now, Bwana Chairman.
Yes.
The president has failed Kenyans since he got into power, and he cannot exonerate himself whichever way. What he should do, he should apologize to Kenyans and plead with Kenyans to give him a second chance if that is possible, which I highly doubt whether that will be possible. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much. All right, Mr. As we start wrapping up, go ahead.
Yeah. But Chairman, we cannot justify a wrong with another wrong. Okay. We can, the parliament that has existed there has always been there and will never change its purpose, regardless of what happens within it. It still remains the symbol of unity in the country. What I don't hear, and what really annoys me sometimes, is that we always push blame to the police, that all the police are the ones who start throwing tear gas. Now, every day you walk in the streets, have the police thrown tear gas to you without any reason? Every day the police are in the streets to keep the streets safe. Have they ever unreasonably unplanned, started throwing tear gas to people who are just passing by or going about their business. You know, there are clips that have shown that the police were actually also as much as, like I said, Bwana Chairman, the same rights that protect you as the citizen. Remember, those police are also citizens of the Republic of Kenya.
Yes.
True or false? Now, when police feel that they are threatened, they have a right to use to begin with reasonable force to defend themselves. So let us agree that that neither the police nor the demonstrators have been keeping their line or towing their line when it comes to demonstrations, okay? Or when observing the rules of engagement when it comes to demonstrations. So with bad police officers, we have also great police officers that we cannot generalize and say all the police officers are bad and have committed heinous crimes like we try to paint. So the demonstrators, there are those who come genuinely to the streets to express themselves, but there are also those who come to the streets with intention to loot and destroy property. Okay? And that is the interest, and that is the interest of the police, to make sure that they keep others safe. So while they are trying to do that job, of course, in any battleground, there are casualties. Okay? There are casualties. Now, maybe we need to increase as time goes by, we need to increase the number of police officers in the streets to be able to bring down the level of fear when demonstrators are actually approaching. But for me, the emphasis is on my emphasis is on do not destroy the property. Okay, come for your demonstrations, finish it, go back home. And I don't think the police are human beings. They are actually oppressed like any other person. They are also going through the same struggle. And that's why I saw others saying, we are fighting for you. We are doing what? But you're fighting for us. We also took oath of office to protect you and protect property as well. So please allow us to do the job. So the other thing is that it is true, Ruto is the father of the nation. Okay? And on a scale of 1 to 10, he has not gotten to a 5. Okay? He's somewhere there, 3, and so on. And I see that struggle, and I give him benefit of doubt as a leader who is already in office. But also, like I said before, Bwana Chairman, what about, there's a question you asked. How about we change our way of kuandamana? How about we change it? How about we apply Go's laws, right? How about kama tunajua, kwa mfano nilikuwa nasema, kama tunajua Ruto, unakumbuka there was a time Nyachae, I think in Nyachae, there's something Nyachae alisema na watu wakakataa kununua mkate wa ilikuwanga inaitwa Sansora ama Kabansora.
Yeah.
Sansora. Na watu wakakataa kununua. And he felt the pain. You know what? He actually apologized. So how about we try those other means of demonstrations apart from destroying the property? For me, at the end of the day, as much as we want to praise people that they were able to go to parliament, they invaded parliament, they destroyed parliament, they destroyed everything around parliament. Nani analipa? Ni sisi bado tutalipa. And that pains me. And the other thing, that is very interesting, that non-occupants, okay, who have come unceremoniously to the buildings of parliament should be left there, right, where their valuables
There are valuables, obviously, within Parliament.
Yes.
There are documentation, which are government or secrets of the government that are within government buildings, that they should be left there. The police should have not come there. That is ridiculous, Bwana Chairman. They are non-occupants, and there are areas that they are not supposed to go, right? It's like the art of the nation is usually a broadcasting, broadcasting houses. Besides broadcasting is Parliament and and the State House. So if you have strangers that are non-occupants of that area, are you asking the police or the enforcing agencies not to act? Then what's happening? What's happening with us? So for me, when we appreciate people's rights and expression, they should also have a limit on what and how they should express themselves. And also, while we are condemning these other people, and let us also know that let us also know that I heard, I think it's Bob was saying, the national government has their presence in every county, right? So still, we could be heard. Why should we come to the city, the capital city, to destroy property there? Now tell me, Bwana Chairman, I've worked so hard for 20 years, and for my savings, nimenunua basi ya transport. Nimeweka kwa barabara, and then inachomwa inaenda chini. Tell me, am I not also dead,
Yes.
through depression? How am I going to pay the loans that I have, right? We are saying, we are actually condemning the police kwamba walishoot watu, but also hawa watu walichoma gari ya mtu ambaye akona loans, maybe ameweka hata mashamba zake as collateral security. Also tunamuua emotionally and through depression. So killing is not necessarily the straight shooting. Those police officers as well go through trauma. You have even actually seen social media focusing on the shoes and the kind of uniform they are wearing. And their living conditions. It's not that they are happy, it's just that they are doing their job. So you have also seen this kind of police. We have seen police killing, even in North America, where there is riots. We have seen police also shooting when it means that they are defending themselves. So for me, maybe to answer the question that you posed before, what we should do now, the truth is the civic education awareness has increased in Kenya from maybe 15% to around 50%. Okay. Now, this generation then should take it upon themselves to use the media and social platforms that they have to continue making sure that the civic education is across the country, so that when we are even voting and making decisions, we do so as informed people and not people who are actually influenced because of the handouts that we are given, so that we can start. How about we start that reject handouts, like during the campaign season? How about we come up with that slogan and educate people that reject handouts. Handouts will actually take you to the wrong direction. So those, among other things, are things that I would like to see. But in terms of, it is true, William Ruto will take the blame for what happens. That is on the surface. In reality, it is just beyond William Ruto. And also, there are a few things that, Bob, it's good that you came back. The bill, the initiator of the bill is not William Ruto.
No.
Right? And even neither will William Ruto withdraw the bill. And I think that is why he corrected his speech by saying that he has referred the bill back to Parliament. So once the bill has been, the initiator of the bill has come to the ad hoc committee and presented that, and that a copy has been given to the members of Parliament. If these members of Parliament go to their respective constituencies and educate or carry out public participation, the answer is no. So why haven't we recalled these members of Parliament for failing to represent us? Now, the second reading, when it comes to Parliament, and even now as we speak, the amendment, why did the people who are called from the ODM withdraw the proposed amendments that they had put forth? Just because they felt that they don't want to be part of the people who will be viewed as traitors who have given some sort of contribution to the bill. So we need to hold accountable members of Parliament who are double speak. I saw Millie Odhiambo in the streets, like vulnerable, like any other young man in the streets who doesn't have a platform like that Millie Odhiambo has. Also saying, "Iyo bill ni mbaya. Why can't she use the floor in Parliament and raise?" Remember, Millie Odhiambo is a lawyer. Okay, why? What has she done in rejecting that bill? What other means has she exploited to make sure that how many people has she mobilized in Parliament to make sure that the voting doesn't succeed? You know, by educating them, by telling them or interpreting them. For example, there are people who come to Parliament and they are not educated. So understanding the bill itself is a challenge. What has Millie Odhiambo, as a lawyer who has been in Parliament for the longest, done to help these people to understand Ubaya wa hii bill? So I can tell you that we really need not to point fingers to the police. All of us, the demonstrators and the police, they contributed to what happened, but we should not see that kind of a show and destruction of property ever again in the country. And let me tell you, Bwana Chairman, if we are not careful, Kenya will end up being like Somali. We have never experienced civil war, and when these other countries started as a joke, and they ended up living in civil war. I don't want to see my country in civil war. I can forgive the president, and the president actually doesn't need to come and apologize. Why would he apologize? The people who owe an apology to the people of Kenya are the members of Parliament. The voting, the drafting, an amendment was not done in State House. It was done in Parliament. Those are the people who owe apology. And when you are a leader, when you have an agenda to propel, obviously you want people to support your manifesto and your vision. Yeah. So you're not going to tell them, you're not going to see something that is going to propel your agenda and say, oh, don't vote it, don't pass it, don't. You are going to say, pass it. You anticipate or hope that they will pass it. But the people who should read and interpret and make amendments are the members of Parliament. So the president only can give, he has done what he's supposed to do. He has realized that within his power, he has sent back the bill to the Parliament for any necessary amendment. And we have an opportunity now. These members of Parliament, if they don't do the right thing, those are the people that we should host. We are not going to destroy Parliament, but we are going to wait them from their respective residential places and their homes back in the constituency, and we will wait for them and we will ask them why are they not doing the right thing. But we are not going to come to the National Assembly and destroy property when these people originate from our constituencies. Thank you, Bwana Chairman.
Thank you so much, Mr. Guys, I think we have gone over our time. Bob, did you have something, final comments to make so that we can wrap up?
Only one thing. Millennials, Gen Z, comrades, let's soldier on.
Okay.
If they don't listen, we must force them to listen.
All right.
And they must listen to us with a sincere heart. Next time, it should not get to this point. When people tell you, listen to them. It doesn't cost a thing. It doesn't cost a thing. I always say we love these governments so much. And we are annoyed out of passion. We are angered out of passion. And you have always said this thing. The leadership, the parliamentary leadership has messed up. And William Ruto will go down because of the people he entertained around him. He will have no one to blame. We have always done our part. Always. We voted for him. We prayed for him. We supported him. We did everything. A number of times we told him, the problem is with those around you.
Yeah.
Don't stop hanging out. If you stay in a dog's kennel, you'll catch fleas.
True.
All these fleas are around him, and they're actually trying to survive off him. They are trying to get kickbacks, tenders off him, unless he has endorsed their habits, which I don't believe.
Okay.
It's high time. Let him settle down at home. Let him work for the country. Okay. He's traveled enough. He's seen the country. He has seen the world enough. They have clapped for him every time he gives speeches. Let him actualize what is needed of him and what Africa expects of him.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Bwana Bernard, any final thoughts?
Yes. What I wanted to correct Mr. Mise is that the bill in Parliament should reflect the UDA's objectives. It should be, prepared in such a way that it enables the UDA government regime to achieve their own objectives. So you cannot come here and tell us that the president is not involved, that we should blame members of parliament. Of course, he is involved in it. Another thing, the guys we are blaming, the agencies, if it was not the agencies, Ruto could have assented the bill, right?
Yes.
So we should give credit where it is due. So let us applaud these young men and women. And let us support them morally, even if it's financially, so that they can help us, because we have failed them. Raila has been having demonstrations for a long time, but he never reached where these young people reached. So let us applaud them. And let us pray for them for what they've done for us. And if Ruto is not going to listen to these people, draw back, find a way to reach out to them and reason with them. These are not patient people like us. You know, us, we can be, in problems and hope things will be better for even 10 years. These guys, they have no time for that. Their vision, their ambition, what they need is a mouse click. It's a click of a mouse. And if the government is not going to listen, trust me, we should not blame these young men for Kenya going the Somalia way. We should blame the dictators in power, the corrupt in power, the religious people who have joined the corruption club, and all these kind of human beings. Because these guys are agitating for what Kenyans deserve. Thank you, Bwana Chairman.
Thank you so much. All right, Mr. Close it out, and then I just keep one statement and we'll be done.
Chair, I just wanted to remind Ombui that executive and judiciary and legislature have different roles.
Yes.
And they have that's separation of power. Okay? There's no doubt about that. And therefore, everyone should play their role. The executive in this case, like Boba said, ni baba wa taifa, right? Lakini baba hawezi kuitwa baba bila watoto. Okay? Now, he can only try. Parents, we have seen even pastors who have kids who are criminals. So, as a father, you can only try. And that's all we are asking Ruto to try. Okay? Do his best. And we hope for a better Kenya. And it is true, people are tired, you know, but also consider the fact that the cost of living is not only high in Kenya, it's not only unattainable in Kenya, everywhere, you know, but the only challenge we have in Kenya is that we support corruption to the core. Na hiyo corruption ndio inatuchukulia pesa. Okay?
Yep.
You know, I hear Mbui Bernard saying that this generation are not patient. Everyone is patient all over in the country, in the world. If you are a law and a citizen abiding, a law abiding citizen, you must be patient. Okay, then the other thing is, the same way he's saying that they should use a click within just a click, things happen. Also let them use the click to synthesize others that do not destroy property. I'm proud of those kids or those who are encouraging others not to destroy property.
Yes.
That's the kind of language that we want to hear. Then we can occupy. I want us to occupy, not to destroy, not to invade, not to host. That's the difference. Some people are just excited that tumeshinda. Na ukiwauliza mmeshinda nini, they don't even understand wameshinda nini.
Okay.
You know? Some of us are here tunaandamana virtually, okay? But we are not on the ground to understand the magnitude of what is compelling those people to be in the streets.
Yes.
So, but the truth is, what about the exposure that we have gotten here?
Yeah.
All right? There's a lady who actually was asking me today. She told me, I don't understand. You want to tell me that our leaders wanakuja wanatembea hapa nje? Yani no leader has ever been compelled to go back to his country and make a change for his country to be like where they have visited and have admired, right? So what is this that is in our Zuia? Maybe we need to ask. You know, Arama, there was a time I was a president of an organization, okay? And the people in the board made it so difficult
for you to.
And you know, there was no handing over of instruments of power, right?
Yeah.
And you even saw this in Mwanyagetinga. I think it was Mwanyagetinga in Minnesota, I think also. So when there are internal wrangles that you don't, yani unaona nikikuja, I remember I couldn't come out to the people and tell them wamekataa kunipatia instruments of power, you know? But I had to negotiate. By the time I'm being given, I'm tired, I'm fatigued. Okay? So we should look beyond it. We should look, what is this that is making William Ruto adamant?
Yeah.
What is this that inamfanya that he cannot see what we are seeing with our naked eyes? Is there external powers that is actually making him not to do the right thing that he was elected for? You know? So we should also look from the other side, what we are not being told, what we are not seeing, so that we can try to find the solution. But above and beyond, let us not destroy the property. That is my parting shot.
Thank you. All right. For me, my parting shot will be very simple. Mr. President, you said you wanted to engage this youth, the Gen Z. There is somewhere they are found. And unfortunately, it looks like the people who can give you that advice, they're not doing anything. They are simply joining those groups and just to flaunt and show their proximity to power. The solution is very simple, Mr. President. Meet them online where they are available, and you can engage them for as long as you want, and they can listen and they can tell you exactly in clear terms what they want and what they are looking at and why they are frustrated. That to me will be my parting shot. Thank you guys so much for being here today. Thank you for this participation and your contribution. We are continue to hope for the better Kenya. We are continue to hope for more people now to listen, our leaders, our elected leaders to listen. And more so, the one thing that I've always been asking, I think is high time we effect the clause for recalling members of parliament so that they know that if you don't do your job, you cannot finish your term. You'll be out. Thank you so much. See you next week. Hope we have better other discussion to do, and we can be able to engage a little bit more, and hopefully other people will join us. Asanteni sana. The Taco edition, Diaspora edition ends now. See you next week. Bye-bye.